It's morning already. So I'm just going to quickly summarize the difference between classical and Keynesian long-run aggregate supply curve. Long-run aggregate supply curve represents the productive potential of an economy. That is what long-run aggregate supply is. But there are different suggestions from the classical and the Keynesian. So for the classical, what do they say? They suggest that the economy is always at full employment level of output, which represents its potential. Therefore, the aggregate supply is vertical. It's always vertical. Why? Because no matter what happens to aggregate demand, output will not increase in the economy. The only thing that will change is either the price, based on increase or decrease of aggregate demand. So if aggregate demand increases in the economy, price increases. If aggregate demand falls in the economy, price will fall. But that does not change the real GDP within the economy. That is for classical. Do we get it?
Yes.
So for classical economics, for the classical economies on long-run aggregate supply, they suggested that the output within the economy will not change. The only thing that changes is the price, either increase in price or decrease in price. That's about that. Then for the Keynesian, that's why it's vertical. For the Keynesian theory, they suggest that the economy is not always at the full employment level of output, which means it could be below or above its potential. This implies that wages and prices are sticky in the short run. So for the Keynesian, they believe the economy is not always what they say it used to be. That means there's always market failure within the economy. That means there's uncertainty in the economy, there's unemployed resources within the economy. So for them, they believe that it is not vertical, rather it is what? Upward slope. Do you get the point? So they believe it is not vertical, rather it is upward slope. Because resources are not fully employed. That means the economy is not always at its highest potential. Do we get it?
Yes.
That is for Keynesian. So there's wages and price flexibility. So because there's price changes every now and then based on aggregate demand and based on increase or uncertainty in aggregate demand within the economy, they believe government must intervene because there's always a market failure. So for the long-run aggregate supply curve, according to the Keynesian, they believe there's always a market failure within the economy. Do we get the difference here?
Yes.
For classical, they believe the market is always at equilibrium, that things are changing based on the situation of the market. So if price is increasing, that means if price is increasing or if the aggregate demand is increasing, price will increase. If aggregate demand is reducing, price will reduce. That is according to classical. But for the Keynesian, they don't see it that way. They believe the economy is not reaching its productive potential because a lot of people are still unemployed in the long run. That means there's always market failure in the long run. So they advocate for what we call government intervention. So that's the difference between them. So in sum, do you get my point? Yes. So in summary, classical theory is based on price flexibility, which makes market stays at equilibrium. So if market stays at equilibrium, it means resources are fully employed. But while for the Keynesian, they maintain that the aggregate demand is aggregate demand, and increase in aggregate demand is the source of uncertainty in the market. So there's always uncertainty, and uncertainty is market failure. Because if there's uncertainty, it means we cannot always make decisions that will maximize our welfare as consumers. And even producers will not be able to make decisions that will maximize their benefit. So because there's uncertainty, it is important for governments to intervene. So that is for Keynesian. And for classical, they believe the economy is always at equilibrium, at level of output. The only thing is that in the long run, the real GDP in terms of output remains the same. But prices can increase or reduce based on increase in aggregate demand or reduction in aggregate demand. Is it clear?
Yes.
Any question now?
No.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.